Anna practically lived at the hospital for days after her mother-in-law, Margaret, fell into end-stage kidney failure. In the cold hallway, Lucas, her husband, kept dropping to his knees, begging. He said Anna was one of the rare compatible matches, said there wasn't much time left, said the family was counting on her. But beneath the loving words was suffocating pressure. Anna was terrified, her hands trembling at the thought of losing a part of her body. This was no longer a request. It was a life-or-death choice disguised as family devotion. If this part makes your chest tighten, comment 1. So I know you're still following the story. Lucas didn't need to push any harder. He simply reminded her of her past, growing up without a family, without a place to belong. He said Margaret was strict only because she wanted to test her daughter-in-law, that after the surgery, Anna would no longer be an outsider. She would be called a daughter, real blood, true family. Those words struck the deepest longing in Anna. She didn't want admiration. She just wanted to belong. And it was that simple wish that slowly led her to believe this sacrifice would earn her a home. In the end, Anna nodded and agreed to donate her kidney. Everything that followed moved with unsettling speed, as if her decision had been the final missing piece. The notary, the doctors, the paperwork. Everything was already prepared. Lucas sat close beside her, urging her to sign, saying it was all just routine. Buried in the thick stack of documents was an emergency clause, granting the hospital full decision-making authority if complications occurred. Anna was too exhausted to read carefully. Her body and mind were both spent. She signed, believing she was doing the right thing, without realizing that her signature was opening the door to a tragedy. Outside the operating room, Anna lay on the gurney as cold white lights slid across the ceiling, making her dizzy. Lucas held her hand tightly, his voice suddenly gentle, nothing like the tense days before. He promised that after the surgery, everything would be different, that they would travel to Europe together and finally begin a real family life. Anna looked at him, believing this was the last warmth of love she had. As the anesthesia spread through her body, she whispered a silent prayer that this sacrifice would truly bind together the home she had longed for her entire life. When she woke up, Anna didn't see the VIP room she'd been promised. Only a cold, ordinary hospital room reeking of disinfectant. The pain from the incision was so intense she could barely breathe. The door flew open. Lucas walked in, but his eyes were completely different now. Without a single word of concern, he threw a divorce envelope straight onto her chest and coldly said that everything was over. If you empathize with Anna, comment 2. And if you don't agree with her choice, leave a single dot. The truth was laid bare in that freezing hospital room. Margaret sneered and hurled cruel insults, calling Anna a useless orphan, and bluntly admitting that she had only ever been a spare part. Lucas stepped aside, making room for Vivian, his ex-girlfriend, her pregnancy already unmistakable. Calmly, he said everything had been arranged long ago, from the kidney donation to the divorce. In that moment, Anna realized she hadn't just been betrayed. She had been exploited, both physically and emotionally. Lucas stood there with a smug expression, convinced he had already won. He coldly said everything was legal because Anna had signed the kidney donation consent voluntarily. There was nothing anyone could do to him. The only thing he tossed back at her was a pitiful amount of compensation, as if that were the price of a human body part. In Lucas's eyes, Anna no longer had any value. Lying in the hospital bed, in pain and utterly hollow, Anna believed she had been drained to the very last drop and then discarded without a second thought. Just as Anna sank into despair, the hospital room door swung open. Dr. Leo Vance walked in with a grave expression and immediately stopped the conversation. He revealed a truth that left the entire room frozen in shock. Margaret's kidney transplant had been canceled after doctors discovered a dangerous viral infection. Proceeding with the surgery would have led to certain death. Under emergency medical protocol, and the very clause Lucas had forced Anna to sign, her kidney had been immediately reassigned to another critical priority patient who was on the brink of dying. It had not been wasted. Anna's sacrifice had saved another human life. The person saved by Anna's kidney was no ordinary patient. It was Sterling, a powerful tycoon standing on the edge between life and death. The transplant was a complete success. When his name was mentioned, Lucas and Margaret's faces instantly drained of color. They realized they hadn't just lost what they once treated as property. They had unknowingly crossed a force far beyond their control. From that moment on, the balance of power shifted completely. That very day, Anna was transferred to a VIP treatment wing under strict protection. She received the highest level of care. Sterling personally sent his thanks, calling Anna the benefactor who pulled him back from death's door. For the first time in her life, Anna was treated with genuine respect, not because of family ties or transactional benefit, but because of her inherent human worth. But this was only the beginning. Stay until the end of the video to see how Anna is protected, and the move she makes that forces those who betrayed her to pay the price. During the process of safeguarding Anna, Sterling's legal team uncovered a startling truth. In the past, Lucas had used Anna's name to hold multiple properties and shares to shield himself from business risks. In his haste to divorce and remarry, he had inadvertently surrendered all rights to those assets. When Anna signed the divorce papers this time, her hand no longer trembled. This was no longer a separation. It was a signature that liberated her life. After everything, Sterling formally took Anna in as his granddaughter and brought her into a completely different world. She received rigorous training in business, law, and, most importantly, how to take control of her own life. Anna changed day by day, not only in appearance, but in mindset. The vulnerability that once made her easy to exploit slowly disappeared, replaced by clarity and inner strength. While Anna was deliberately rebuilding herself, Lucas and Margaret were sinking into financial and health crises. By then, the balance of fate had tilted entirely in her favor. When everything was finally in place, Anna closed the last trap. She used the assets legally registered in her name as bait, luring Lucas into signing an investment contract that looked like his way out. In reality, it was an irreversible legal sentence. When the project collapsed, the entire company was seized, and Lucas faced serious fraud charges. Vivian was exposed when it was revealed that the child she was carrying wasn't his. And Margaret, after losing her money, her son, and her pride, finally broke down completely. In the end, Margaret died in despair, and Lucas was arrested, stripped of everything he had once used to control others. Anna didn't choose revenge fueled by hatred or violence. She chose intelligence, the law, and self-respect to close the chapter on her past. 1 year later, Anna lives in peace, dedicating her time to helping patients who once stood where she did and opening her heart to a new, healthier love. The story ends with a simple but powerful lesson. Kindness needs boundaries, and human worth does not lie in blind sacrifice. If you found this story thought-provoking, please like the video and subscribe to the channel to continue along with more meaningful stories like this.